In a world filled with uncertainty, stress, and constant change, the ancient philosophy of Stoicism offers a timeless path to inner peace and fulfillment. Rooted in wisdom from great thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, Stoicism teaches us how to cultivate resilience, embrace challenges, and find joy in the present moment. This guide explores the core principles of Stoicism and how they can be applied to modern life. Whether you're seeking emotional balance, mental clarity, or a deeper sense of purpose, Stoicism provides practical tools to help you navigate life's highs and lows with grace. By focusing on what we can control, accepting what we cannot, and aligning our actions with virtue, we can create a life filled with meaning, contentment, and lasting fulfillment. Let's embark on this journey together and uncover the wisdom of Stoicism, one that has the power to transform the way we think, act, and live. Negative visualization is one of the most powerful tools in Stoicism, designed to cultivate resilience, gratitude, and emotional stability. At its core, this practice involves deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios, such as losing a loved one, facing financial ruin, or experiencing failure in our career or personal life. While this might seem counterintuitive or even pessimistic, its purpose is quite the opposite. By mentally confronting these potential hardships in advance, we prepare ourselves emotionally and psychologically to face them with composure if they ever occur. Instead of being caught off guard by misfortune, we develop a mindset that allows us to accept challenges with grace and inner strength. Additionally, negative visualization deepens our appreciation for the present by reminding us that nothing in life is guaranteed. When we recognize the impermanence of all things, our possessions, relationships, health, and even life itself, we stop taking them for granted and learn to cherish what we have. This practice also reduces fear and anxiety because it shifts our perspective. We realize that even if the worst happens, we have the capacity to endure and adapt. It reinforces the Stoic belief that suffering comes not from external events themselves, but from our perception of them. By regularly engaging in negative visualization, we become less dependent on external circumstances for our happiness and develop a profound sense of inner peace, regardless of what life throws our way. Embracing discomfort is a fundamental principle in Stoicism that fosters resilience, mental toughness, and self-discipline. The Stoics believe that true strength is cultivated not through ease and luxury, but through voluntary hardship and the ability to endure challenges with a composed mind. By deliberately stepping outside of our comfort zones, we train ourselves to remain unfazed by difficulties when they arise unexpectedly. This practice can take many forms, such as exposing ourselves to physical discomfort by taking cold showers, fasting, or engaging in strenuous exercise. It can also include mental challenges, such as willingly facing rejection, practicing humility, or sitting with our emotions instead of seeking distractions. The purpose of these exercises is not self-punishment, but preparation. By repeatedly subjecting ourselves to controlled adversity, we develop the confidence to handle real hardship with grace. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, advised practicing poverty by occasionally living with minimal resources, even if one is wealthy, to reduce the fear of losing material possessions. Similarly, Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus emphasized the importance of embracing discomfort as a way to strengthen character and detach from unnecessary desires. In today's world, where convenience and instant gratification are prioritized, practicing voluntary discomfort becomes even more valuable. It allows us to cultivate a sense of self-reliance, overcome our dependence on external pleasures, and develop a mindset that is prepared for life's inevitable struggles. When we make peace with discomfort, we stop fearing it. And when we stop fearing it, we become truly free. This resilience not only enhances our ability to withstand challenges, but also deepens our appreciation for comfort when we do experience it. By embracing discomfort regularly, we transform hardships from something to be avoided into opportunities for growth, ultimately shaping a life that is guided by strength, discipline, and an unwavering sense of purpose. Detachment and control are central tenets of Stoic philosophy, emphasizing the importance of focusing only on what we can influence while letting go of what is beyond our power. The Stoics taught that much of human suffering comes from our attachment to external outcomes, things like wealth, status, relationships, and even our own health. However, these external factors are inherently unstable and subject to change, making attachment to them a source of constant anxiety and disappointment. Instead, the Stoics advocated for detachment, not in the sense of emotional numbness, but in cultivating an inner freedom that prevents us from being enslaved by desires and fears. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." This simple yet profound distinction serves as a guiding principle for Stoic practitioners. We cannot control how others perceive us, how the economy fluctuates, or even how long we will live. What we can control, however, is our own mindset, our choices, and how we respond to life's inevitable challenges. By shifting our focus to our own thoughts and actions, we reclaim our personal power and free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. Detachment does not mean indifference. It means caring deeply while also accepting that the outcome is not ours to dictate. For example, a Stoic might work diligently toward a goal, but if circumstances prevent its success, they do not fall into despair. They accept reality and move forward with equanimity. This mindset applies to relationships as well. While we can love and appreciate others, we must also recognize that we do not own or control them. By embracing detachment, we develop resilience, patience, and emotional stability, allowing us to navigate life's ups and downs with a sense of peace. This principle is particularly relevant in the modern world, where people often tie their self-worth to achievements, possessions, or social approval. Stoicism reminds us that true freedom lies in mastering our own reactions rather than being at the mercy of external circumstances. When we internalize this lesson, we free ourselves from unnecessary worry and gain the strength to approach life with clarity, purpose, and an unshakable sense of calm. The power of silence is a fundamental, yet often overlooked principle in Stoicism, emphasizing the importance of restraint, mindfulness, and self-mastery in both speech and thought. In a world that constantly demands our attention and reaction, the Stoics believe that silence serves as a shield against unnecessary conflict, emotional turmoil, and impulsive decisions. By cultivating the ability to remain silent in moments of anger, frustration, or uncertainty, we gain control over our emotions and prevent ourselves from saying things we might later regret. The Roman philosopher Seneca advised that we should listen more than we speak, recognizing that silence allows us to observe and understand situations with greater clarity. Similarly, Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, practiced the art of inner silence, training his mind to remain undisturbed by external noise and chaos. He believed that true wisdom comes not from speaking incessantly, but from thoughtful reflection and deliberate action. In modern life, where distractions are endless and social media encourages constant expression, practicing silence becomes a powerful tool for self-discipline and mental clarity. It allows us to step back from the noise, avoid unnecessary arguments, and engage with the world more intentionally. Furthermore, silence is not just about the absence of speech. It also involves quieting the mind, resisting the urge to react impulsively, and fostering deep contemplation. In difficult situations, a silent pause can be more powerful than 1,000 words, giving us the space to choose a response that aligns with reason and virtue rather than fleeting emotions. Moreover, silence enhances our relationships by making us better listeners. When we refrain from speaking simply to fill the void, we become more attuned to others' needs and emotions, fostering deeper connections. In contrast, those who speak without thought or engage in gossip, complaints, or idle chatter often waste energy and create unnecessary negativity. The Stoics believe that words should be used sparingly and purposefully, with an emphasis on truth, kindness, and wisdom. By mastering the power of silence, we develop a strong inner fortress, immune to the distractions and provocations of the outside world. This practice cultivates patience, humility, and resilience, helping us to navigate life with a calm and measured approach. In an age of constant noise and information overload, the ability to embrace silence is more valuable than ever. It allows us to retreat into our own thoughts, gain perspective, and act with greater wisdom and composure. Ultimately, silence is not a sign of weakness or passivity, but of strength and self-discipline, reinforcing the Stoic ideal that true power lies in control over oneself rather than control over others. Practicing gratitude is a core Stoic principle that fosters resilience, contentment, and a deeper appreciation for life. Unlike modern interpretations of gratitude that often focus on external rewards or fleeting moments of happiness, Stoic gratitude is rooted in a profound acknowledgement of the present moment and an acceptance of all that life offers, both the good and the bad. The Stoics believe that by cultivating gratitude, we shift our focus away from what we lack and instead recognize the abundance that already exists in our lives. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, encouraged people to be thankful not just for material possessions or favorable circumstances, but also for challenges and hardships, as they provide opportunities for growth and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, frequently reminded himself to appreciate life's simple gifts, from the ability to breathe and think to the relationships that shaped his character. He understood that gratitude was not about waiting for life to meet our expectations, but about learning to value what is already within our grasp. Practicing gratitude in the Stoic sense also involves recognizing the impermanence of all things. Nothing is guaranteed. Our health, loved ones, and even our very existence are temporary. Instead of taking these things for granted, the Stoics urged us to appreciate them deeply while they are present. By doing so, we transform our mindset from one of entitlement to one of appreciation, making us less susceptible to dissatisfaction and envy. In modern times, gratitude has been scientifically linked to increased well-being, reduced stress, and greater overall happiness. However, true Stoic gratitude goes beyond mere acknowledgement. It is an active practice of training the mind to see value in every experience, even suffering. A Stoic does not complain about what they do not have. Rather, they are grateful for what they do possess and make the most of it. This attitude fosters an inner strength that remains unshaken by external circumstances, allowing one to maintain a state of tranquility even in adversity. Moreover, gratitude enhances relationships, as it shifts our focus from what others fail to provide to what they already contribute. Instead of resenting unmet expectations, a Stoic recognizes and appreciates the kindness, efforts, and presence of others, leading to deeper connections and fewer conflicts. One way to incorporate this in a daily life is by reflecting each evening on what we are thankful for, much like the Stoic practice of journaling. Even in difficult moments, we can find something to appreciate, a lesson learned, a small act of kindness, or simply the strength to endure another day. Gratitude also extends to how we interact with the world. When we recognize that life owes us nothing, we begin to view everything as a gift. This perspective removes feelings of entitlement and frustration, replacing them with acceptance and joy. Ultimately, practicing gratitude is not about denying life's difficulties, but about developing the wisdom to see value in all experiences. It is a powerful tool for cultivating inner peace, fostering resilience, and ensuring that we live each day with a sense of purpose and appreciation. By embracing gratitude as a daily practice, we align ourselves with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature, accepting what comes our way, and making the most of every moment. Time management and focus are fundamental to living a disciplined and purposeful life, a principle deeply ingrained in Stoic philosophy. The Stoics believe that time is our most valuable and non-renewable resource, making it imperative to use it wisely and intentionally. Seneca, in his essay on the shortness of life, warns against wasting time on trivial pursuits, distractions, and idle worries, emphasizing that life is not short, but rather We make it so by failing to use our time effectively. He argues that people guard their money and possessions with great care, but are often reckless when it comes to their time, allowing it to be stolen by meaningless activities, unnecessary obligations, and the pursuit of external validation. This Stoic perspective serves as a reminder to prioritize what truly matters, eliminating distractions and focusing on endeavors that contribute to our growth, wisdom, and well-being. Marcus Aurelius also stressed the importance of focus, urging himself in meditations to approach each day with clarity and purpose. He recognized that distractions, whether external temptations or internal doubts, were constant threats to living a virtuous and productive life. The Stoics advocated for a practice of mindfulness and presence, encouraging individuals to engage fully with the task at hand rather than being consumed by regrets of the past or anxieties about the future. To cultivate this level of focus, they recommended setting clear priorities, avoiding procrastination, and committing to a disciplined daily routine. This aligns with modern research on time management, which shows that eliminating distractions, practicing deep work, and maintaining structured schedules significantly enhance productivity and mental clarity. One of the most powerful Stoic techniques for managing time is the practice of memento mori, the contemplation of mortality. By frequently reminding ourselves that life is finite and that we do not know how much time we have left, we develop a sense of urgency to make the most of every moment. This is not meant to induce fear, but to instill a greater appreciation for the present and a stronger commitment to meaningful pursuits. When we realize that each day could be our last, wasting time on trivial concerns, grudges, or mindless distractions becomes far less appealing. Instead, we are motivated to engage in activities that align with our values, contribute to our personal growth, and bring genuine fulfillment. Furthermore, the Stoics understood the importance of saying no to unimportant demands that drain time and energy. Seneca warned against becoming enslaved by obligations that do not serve our higher purpose, reminding us that social expectations, idle gossip, and the pursuit of fame or wealth often lead people astray. Modern life presents even more distractions, endless notifications, social media, and the pressure to be constantly busy, making the Stoic practice of deliberate time management more relevant than ever. By setting boundaries, prioritizing essential tasks, and consciously deciding how we spend our time, we regain control over our lives and direct our efforts toward what truly matters. A practical application of Stoic time management involves structuring the day with intention. The Stoics often engaged in morning and evening reflections, planning their actions at the start of the day and reviewing them at the end. Marcus Aurelius, for instance, would mentally prepare himself each morning for the challenges ahead, reinforcing his commitment to virtue and focus. At night, he would reflect on his actions, assessing whether he had stayed true to his values or allowed distractions to lead him astray. This simple but powerful habit helps develop self-awareness and discipline, ensuring that time is used effectively rather than wasted on fleeting pleasures or meaningless obligations. Another essential aspect of Stoic focus is the practice of amor fati, or embracing what happens without resistance. This mindset helps eliminate time wasted on complaining, worrying about things outside our control, or dwelling on setbacks. Instead of getting stuck in cycles of frustration, a Stoic quickly regains focus and adapts to the present moment, ensuring that energy is directed toward constructive action rather than wasted on unproductive thoughts. This principle is particularly useful in modern work environments, where unexpected obstacles, criticism, and external pressures can easily derail focus and motivation. By adopting a Stoic approach, individuals learn to navigate challenges with composure, keeping their attention on what they can control and letting go of distractions that serve no purpose. Ultimately, time management and focus are not just about getting more done. They are about ensuring that life is spent on meaningful and virtuous pursuits. The Stoics recognize that a well-lived life is not measured by the number of years, but by the depth of one's experiences and the impact of one's actions. By carefully guarding our time, eliminating distractions, and maintaining a sharp focus on what truly matters, we align ourselves with the Stoic ideal of wisdom and self-mastery. Every moment presents a choice, whether to use our time wisely or squander it. And the Stoics remind us that the quality of our lives depends on how well we make that choice. Letting go is a fundamental principle in Stoic philosophy, rooted in the understanding that we cannot control everything in life and that clinging to things beyond our influence only leads to suffering. The Stoics taught that much of human distress comes not from external events themselves, but from our attachments and judgments about them. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, emphasized that we must distinguish between what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and choices, and what is not, such as other people's opinions, past events, or external circumstances. By learning to release our grip on things that do not belong to us, we cultivate inner peace, resilience, and freedom from unnecessary emotional turmoil. This practice of detachment does not mean indifference or passivity. Rather, it is about accepting reality as it is and responding with wisdom instead of resistance. When we let go of expectations, fears, and regrets, we liberate ourselves from suffering and create space for true contentment. One of the most common sources of distress is attachment to outcomes. Many people spend their lives striving for success, recognition, or control over future events, only to experience frustration and disappointment when things do not go as planned. The Stoics advised against anchoring our happiness to external achievements, as these are often influenced by factors beyond our command. Instead, they encourage focusing on effort and virtue, measuring success by the integrity of our actions rather than by the results they produce. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, reminds us that we must do our duty with excellence, but remain detached from the outcome, as ultimate control over events lies in the hands of fate. This mindset allows us to engage fully in our work and personal pursuits without becoming enslaved by the fear of failure or the desire for validation. Similarly, letting go is essential when dealing with loss and change. Whether it is the end of a relationship, the loss of a loved one, or a drastic shift in circumstances, clinging to the past only deepens our suffering. The Stoics practiced memento mori, the contemplation of mortality, as a way to accept the impermanence of all things. Seneca, in his letters, advises that we should appreciate what we have while it is present, but remain prepared to release it when the time comes. He compares life's possessions, relationships, and experiences to gifts borrowed from the universe, meant to be cherished but not owned. By embracing this perspective, we cultivate gratitude for what we have without falling into despair when things inevitably change. This ability to let go gracefully allows us to move forward rather than becoming stuck in longing for what once was. Another key aspect of letting go involves freeing ourselves from resentment and grievances. Many people hold on to past hurts, harboring anger and bitterness toward those who have wronged them. However, as the Stoics point out, this only harms the person who refuses to release their resentment. Marcus Aurelius advised treating others' mistakes with understanding, recognizing that people act based on their own limited perspectives and flaws. Instead of seeking revenge or dwelling on past offenses, he encouraged rising above negativity and focusing on maintaining one's own character and peace of mind. By letting go of grudges, we reclaim our emotional energy and avoid being consumed by negativity. Forgiveness, in this sense, is not about excusing bad behavior, but about choosing not to let the past dictate our inner state. Letting go is also crucial in overcoming anxiety and fear. Many of our worries stem from an imagined future that we attempt to control through excessive planning or rumination. The Stoics remind us that the future is uncertain and largely outside of our hands, making excessive worry both futile and self-destructive. Instead, they encourage focusing on the present moment and taking each challenge as it comes. Epictetus likens life to a play in which we are actors, given certain roles by fate. While we may not have chosen our circumstances, we have the power to perform our part well, responding with wisdom and courage. By releasing the need to predict and control everything, We gain the ability to adapt to life's uncertainties with a calm and resilient spirit. Furthermore, letting go applies to our self-image and ego. Many people suffer because they are overly concerned with how they are perceived by others, constantly seeking approval and fearing judgment. The Stoics warn that this preoccupation with reputation and external validation leads to a life of anxiety and dissatisfaction. Instead, they advocate for an internal compass of self-worth based on one's character and principles rather than the shifting opinions of others. When we stop trying to control how others see us and focus on living with integrity, we experience a profound sense of liberation. This shift allows us to act authentically, free from the burden of constantly pleasing others or conforming to societal expectations. Letting go ultimately requires trust in the natural order of things, what the Stoics called nature or logos, the rational structure governing the universe. They believe that everything happens according to reason, even if we do not immediately understand it. By surrendering to this greater flow rather than resisting it, we find inner harmony and peace. This does not mean abandoning responsibility or action, but rather approaching life with the confidence that we can handle whatever comes our way. The more we practice letting go, the more we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering, allowing us to live with greater clarity, wisdom, and joy. Stoic philosophy provides a profound framework for developing meaningful and harmonious relationships by emphasizing wisdom, virtue, and emotional resilience. Unlike modern notions of relationships based on external validation, passion, or fleeting emotions, Stoicism teaches that relationships should be rooted in mutual respect, rational understanding, and the pursuit of virtue. The Stoics believe that relationships, whether romantic, familial, or friendships, are not about possessing or controlling others, but about sharing a journey toward wisdom and self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, reminds us that people will act according to their nature, and we should not expect them to conform to our desires. Instead of attempting to change others, the Stoic approach is to focus on our own behavior, demonstrating patience, kindness, and integrity in every interaction. By practicing these principles, we cultivate relationships that are not based on neediness or dependency, but on mutual respect and a shared commitment to growth. One of the key tenets of Stoic relationships is accepting people as they are rather than as we wish them to be. Many conflicts arise because we impose our expectations on others, becoming frustrated when they do not meet our standards. However, Epictetus advises us to recognize that every individual has their own perspective, experiences, and internal struggles. Instead of demanding that others behave a certain way, we should practice a more the love of fate, by embracing people for who they truly are. This does not mean tolerating mistreatment or remaining in toxic relationships. Rather, it means approaching others with understanding and compassion, while maintaining our own dignity and self-respect. When we detach from the illusion that others exist solely to fulfill our desires, we experience a deeper sense of peace in our interactions and foster relationships that are based on acceptance rather than control. Another crucial aspect of Stoic relationships is emotional self-mastery. The Stoics understood that uncontrolled emotions, such as jealousy, anger, and resentment, are destructive forces that can ruin relationships. Instead of reacting impulsively to perceived slights or conflicts, Stoicism teaches us to pause, reflect, and respond with reason. Seneca, in his writings on anger, warns that allowing emotions to dictate our actions leads to regret and damaged relationships. He suggests practicing patience and taking a step back before reacting to negative situations. When we cultivate emotional discipline, we become more reliable, supportive partners, friends, and family members, offering stability rather than chaos. Moreover, by training ourselves to see conflicts from a broader perspective, we develop the ability to forgive and move forward rather than holding on to grudges. This emotional strength allows us to approach difficulties with a calm mind and ensures that our relationships are not ruled by fleeting emotions, but by long-term wisdom and care. Stoic relationships are also deeply tied to the idea of being of service to others. While modern relationships often focus on what we can gain from them, Stoicism encourages us to ask how we can contribute to the well-being of those around us. Marcus Aurelius believed that humans exist to support and uplift one another, and true happiness comes from fulfilling our duty to others. Whether in friendships, romantic partnerships, or family ties, a Stoic seeks to be a source of wisdom, encouragement, and strength. This does not mean being a passive doormat or allowing others to take advantage of us, but rather, it means approaching relationships with generosity, kindness, and a sense of duty to act with virtue. When we shift our focus from taking to giving, our relationships become more fulfilling and meaningful. At the same time, Stoic philosophy warns against becoming overly dependent on others for happiness. While relationships can bring joy, they should not be the sole source of our emotional well-being. The Stoics believe that true happiness comes from within, through living a life of virtue and wisdom, rather than from external attachments. Epictetus reminds us that if we rely on others to complete us, we will inevitably suffer when they disappoint or leave us. Instead, Stoic relationships involve a healthy balance, valuing and cherishing others while maintaining inner strength and independence. This approach allows us to love deeply without becoming possessive or fearful of loss. It also ensures that our self-worth is not tied to how others treat us, but rather to how we conduct ourselves with dignity and virtue. Finally, Stoic relationships are built on the foundation of truth and integrity. Honesty, both with ourselves and with others, is essential for fostering trust and mutual respect. The Stoics believe that lies and deception weaken relationships, while open and sincere communication strengthens them. When we speak with integrity and act in alignment with our principles, we create relationships that are based on authenticity rather than manipulation. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to surround ourselves with those who inspire us to be better, rather than those who lead us toward vice or distraction. Seneca advised choosing friendships wisely, as the people we associate with influence our character and mindset. By forming relationships with those who share our values, we create a supportive environment for personal growth and virtue. In essence, Stoic relationships are about balancing emotional detachment with deep care, practicing wisdom in our interactions, and focusing on what we can control, our own thoughts, actions, and choices. By embracing these principles, we cultivate relationships that are not driven by fleeting emotions, unrealistic expectations, or dependency, but by mutual respect, virtue, and a commitment to personal growth. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control how others behave, we can always choose how we respond. And in doing so, we create relationships that are strong, meaningful, and rooted in true wisdom. The Stoic approach to wealth and success challenges the conventional idea that material riches and status equate to a meaningful life. In a world that often equates financial prosperity with happiness and fulfillment, Stoicism offers a radically different viewpoint. Wealth and success are neither inherently good nor bad, but rather neutral tools that gain value based on how they are used. The Stoics, including Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, recognize that while wealth can provide comfort and security, it does not guarantee virtue, wisdom, or inner peace. Instead of being consumed by the endless pursuit of more money, more power, more recognition, a Stoic seeks contentment through self-mastery, rational thinking, and the ability to live in accordance with nature and virtue. The true measure of success, according to Stoic philosophy, is not how much one accumulates, but how well one lives, acts, and thinks. By shifting focus away from external wealth and toward internal richness, a Stoic ensures that material possessions serve them rather than enslave them. One of the core teachings of Stoicism regarding wealth is that it should be approached with indifference, meaning that while wealth itself is not bad, an unhealthy attachment to it can lead to suffering. Epictetus famously stated that one should treat wealth like an object held in an open hand. If it remains, it is welcome, but if it falls away, one should not grieve. This attitude prevents wealth from becoming a source of anxiety or fear, as the Stoic understands that all external things are fleeting and beyond our absolute control. A person who ties their happiness to money or success is constantly at risk of misery because financial circumstances can change due to factors beyond their control. Economic downturns, market fluctuations, unexpected misfortunes. By practicing ataraxia, or inner tranquility, a Stoic maintains equanimity whether in riches or poverty, understanding that true wealth lies in wisdom, virtue, and character rather than in bank accounts or assets. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches that the pursuit of wealth should not come at the cost of virtue. Many people chase success through unethical means, manipulation, greed, or dishonesty, believing that financial gain justifies any action. However, a Stoic rejects this mindset, recognizing that integrity is worth more than any material possession. Seneca, who himself was wealthy, warned that money is only beneficial if used wisely and ethically. He argued that wealth should be a servant, not a master, and that the richest individuals are those who are content with what they have rather than those who endlessly seek more. Stoicism encourages an ethical approach to wealth building, one that prioritizes honor, justice, and fairness over greed and excess. A Stoic does not measure success by how much they own, but by how much they contribute to the world, how they uphold their values, and how they maintain inner peace regardless of external circumstances. Another key Stoic lesson on wealth and success is the practice of voluntary discomfort. Many people who achieve financial prosperity become fearful of losing it, leading to anxiety, greed, and a reluctance to take risks. To combat this, Stoics deliberately expose themselves to moments of hardship to build resilience. Seneca recommended that even the wealthy should periodically live as if they were poor, eating simple meals, sleeping on the floor, and wearing humble clothing, to remind themselves that they can endure hardship and that true happiness does not come from luxury. This practice serves two purposes. First, it reduces the fear of loss, since one learns that they can survive without wealth. And second, it prevents one from becoming dependent on luxury, ensuring that wealth remains a tool rather than a necessity for happiness. By training themselves to be comfortable with discomfort, Stoics develop a sense of security that no amount of money can buy. Additionally, Stoicism teaches that success should be defined internally rather than by societal standards. Many people chase success based on external validation, seeking promotions, accolades, or social status, only to find themselves unfulfilled. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that fame, recognition, and power are fleeting, and those who crave them often become enslaved by the opinions of others. A Stoic, on the other hand, defines success by their own principles, measuring it by how well they live in alignment with virtue and wisdom. This means that even if one does not achieve great financial wealth or public recognition, they can still be profoundly successful in life by cultivating self-discipline, kindness, and intellectual growth. A person who remains true to their values, who acts with integrity, and who remains at peace with themselves is, in the Stoic sense, truly successful, regardless of how society perceives them. Finally, Stoicism encourages the wise use of wealth for the greater good. If a Stoic acquires financial success, they do not hoard it selfishly, but use it to benefit others, whether through generosity, philanthropy, or the support of their community. True wealth, according to Stoicism, is not in possessing, but in giving. A rich person who is enslaved by greed is poorer than a modest person who is content and willing to share. By detaching from the need to accumulate endlessly, a Stoic ensures that their wealth serves a purpose beyond mere self-indulgence. As Marcus Aurelius stated, what we do now echoes in eternity, implying that the way we use our resources and influence can create a lasting impact beyond our own lifetime. In essence, Stoic philosophy does not reject wealth and success, but redefines them. Wealth is not evil, nor is success meaningless, but their value depends entirely on how they are pursued and utilized. The Stoic ideal is not to chase money blindly or define oneself by external achievements, but to cultivate wisdom, maintain virtue, and use resources responsibly. True success is not found in luxury, status, or financial gain, but in the ability to live with integrity, resilience, and peace of mind. By applying Stoic principles, one can achieve a form of wealth that is immune to market crashes, theft, or loss. A wealth built on inner strength, wisdom, and an unshakable foundation of self-mastery. Thank you for taking the time to engage with this content on Stoicism and its practical applications in daily life. Your willingness to explore these timeless principles, whether in handling criticism, embracing discomfort, practicing gratitude, or mastering self-control, shows a commitment to personal growth and resilience. Stoicism offers a profound way to navigate life's challenges with wisdom, clarity, and inner peace, and I hope these insights have provided valuable perspective for your journey. Your support and curiosity mean a lot, and I appreciate your time and attention. If this content resonated with you, I encourage you to reflect, apply these teachings, and continue exploring the path of Stoic wisdom. Thank you again for watching, and may you find strength and tranquility in every moment.